Alright, in this video, I'm going to go over a quick overview of different manufacturing methods that's out there. So this is just some of the top ones that you'll be dealing with if you're designing. But this is by no means a exhaustive list of all the machining capabilities out there. So here we have a drill press. So drill press is good for drilling holes. You could see that there's a little chuck here that can hold your drill bit, and then you could place your part here. Typically, you'll have some sort of clamp, or if it's something easy, you might hold it by hand. And then there's like a knob here you could turn to lower and raise the tool here. Okay, so it's good for drilling holes. And then there's also the mill machine. So mill machine is pretty similar, except here you're actually moving the part. So you can see there's knobs here and knobs here. So you could turn the knobs and the table can move in the X, Y position. And then you would lower the part here a little bit at a time. So you want to remove the surface of the material a little bit at a time. So you would lower it, and then once the part is in there, you would sweep over. So let's see, you might see a better example here. For example, well, this guy is drilling with it. But the idea is you have a part, and then you'll sweep it layer by layer. You kind of see it here. You'll go across layer by layer, and you don't want to cut off too much at a time because um, you might just end up having something fly off across the room. So those two are more manual machines. The CNC here is controlled and programmed using G code. You have like the 3 axis, there's like 5, 6 axis. Basically, 3 axis is XYZ, 6 axis is XYZ, as well as rotation in the 3 directions. So this is all programmed using G code, and then you might have different drilling end mill tools that you'll swap out, and typically it's in like a enclosure here to be safe. There's like cooling liquids that it'll spray on it, so this is good for making like more complicated surface cuts on your parts. Okay, and then you have the EDM machine, which has like a hot wire, really thin wire that goes through your parts, and then it's usually submerged in some liquid for some of the electric discharge. It's called the electric discharge machine, EDM, not the dancing EDM. But you can see that these are pictures of how it works. Well, you could check out some videos, but this one here is actually the part being submerged or raised from the liquid. And this is really good for really fine features, depending on the wire size you use. So that's what the EDM is. And here you have the water jet, which has water going at really fast speeds, and it's good for 2D cuts usually. So you'll have like a sheet of metal, and then you might cut like gears or any shapes that you're interested in. It works very similar to the laser jet, where the laser jet uses laser, and then the water jet uses water, but the idea is pretty similar. And then you also have the lathe, which the lathe will just have the parts rotate. So here you have a part, and then this thing will rotate really fast, rotate, 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 and then you have this little cutting tool here that can slowly cut off the materials. Okay. And then you have lastly the 3D printer. I actually own this Prusa printer, but this is good for the way it works is it'll extrude material layer by layer. There's different 3D printing methods out there, but this one is a FDM printer that does layer by layer. And then you could have different wall thicknesses. You could have like different shapes inside that can add structure. So you're not actually infilling everything, but you could have some honeycomb structure that will make your part more solid. So this is probably the best option for DIY at home for your projects. But if you have access to like a machine shop, these other options are great for prototyping your designs. Okay, so it's good to know the different manufacturing methods out there so that when you design the different parts or you're considering tolerancing, maybe you need to know like how you're making your parts to see what sort of tolerancing you can achieve to get the desired results. Okay, so it's going to be case by case. Obviously, if you have a hobby project versus like a spaceship or something with like high precision manufacturing for like silicon chips, you're talking about like two ends of the spectrum of how precise your parts need to be. So you need to decide where you fall into that spectrum, and then from there, based on your manufacturing method, you'll design it a certain way. You might tolerance it a certain way. So it's best to look up the type of machines you're going to be using to design and build, and then based off of that, you should design your part accordingly and spec out your mechanical components accordingly. Okay, so hopefully this gave you an overview of the different manufacturing methods out there. So if you found this video helpful, give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.